Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Show here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, we had Deku. Deku, he heard from Amanda Waller. He has made a mistake. What he did has cost them anonymity. What he's did is put an actual target on his back. Right now, Izuku, he has done something they have to work around. They almost got revealed. And Deku, yeah, right now a plan was put into place. And Deku, him and Superman, they had an encounter. And Superman was kind of taken aback. His father told him when he talked to him at the Fortress of Solitude, do not look at the houses of Krypton. Look at the individual. Zod, he is from a warrior line. He could be an exception. Right now, however, if this boy is too young to remember Krypton, if he's not from Krypton, then maybe things could be okay. Maybe if he's just some sort of clone, he can work around that, he can help. But Izuku, he's no clone. And Superman was even more alarmed. This boy is a teenager, and he is from the House of Zod, and somehow he's on Earth. Now, Superman, yeah. Him and Izuku, they talked in Kryptonian. And Deku, he actually got a comment about how he didn't expect Batman to know this language. And Supes, he does talk about Batman for a second, expressing how, yeah, he's very prepared. He tries to make sure that things are always accounted for. And that's sort of his whole thing. Now, Deku would actually go to express. He does understand. Being prepared for a threat is always, well, something you want to be. You never want to be caught off guard. Now, Superman will finally go to ask. He wants to know how he got here on Earth, why he's young, and, well, if there's anyone else. No. Deku just falls silent before looking directly at Superman and telling him he doesn't know. He doesn't know where he's from. He knows about Krypton. He knows about the planet's destruction. That's all he knows. All he also knows is that one day he crash landed on Earth. And ever since then, he was raised here. He was raised in order to do a few things. Now, Superman, he does stare at Deku. And he will go to try and ask about the combat experience. And Deku will go to look at Superman, expressing how it's not combat experience. It's called training. He doesn't do that. Now, Superman, yeah. He knows how to throw a punch. And while he does know certain tactics, he doesn't employ what Deku does. Now, Deku is kind of caught off guard. The strongest man on Earth, he knows how to throw a punch, but he doesn't know a martial art. That's kind of redundant. Now, Deku, he does stare at Superman. And after Superman would try to ask him about his name again, Deku would finally go to say it. His name is Duvel Zod. That is what his father from Krypton named him. However, here, he does still go by Duvel. Now, Superman would actually ask him a few more questions. Wanting to know possibly where he's from. Wanting to know where he might have been raised. And Izuku does talk about how he's kind of been from all over. And that's just the thing. Batman, he's trying to look up Izuku. And his records, they're fairly inconsistent. Now, Batman knows that something is going on. And right now, Deku, yeah. he does try to keep his past to himself. However, the idea right now that Batman's seeing that's been put together is this. Deku's moved around. That's what his record shows. He's been over here a little bit, over here a little bit. He's been over there for a while, and he's been here for a minute. So either Deku, he's been moving around by himself, which is likely because of his powers, or his family's been jumping around trying to hide, stay in front of a threat, and stay away from danger. Okay, well that's... Now, Superman, he would actually going to conduct his interview and call it quits. Because Deku, yeah, he seems fairly different. His personality, the way he acts. I mean, he heard that Batman had to deal with a few things like this. What did he call it again? Edge, that's right. Now, that is where Batman, he would actually try and talk to Deku as well. And he does actually try and ask him if he's more willing to comply and conduct a proper interview. And Deku just stare at him, before telling Bruce that he would rather not. Really. He would rather like to leave and go. He's gonna be late. So you're out stopping crime and killing. And what? You worried about breaking your own curfew? What I do, Mr. Wayne, is simple. What I do is stop things you can't prevent. I actually do your job by killing, by cleaning up things. Besides, those men, in a few more days, what would they have done? Sold more guns, kill more people, be responsible, like the men pulling the trigger? I'm sure you can understand. Prevent any more Robins from popping up for a while. Now, Batman does stare directly at Deku. He gets what he's insinuating. The gun. It created the Batman. But did it create the Robin as well? I mean, Dick Grayson's parents, they fell. Jason Todd, his mother, she was an addict. And Tim's family. Tim had to become a Robin. Maybe he will be the better man. Better than him. But he can't think that way. Now, Batman does stare back at Deku. And right now Deku and Batman, they do go to talk. And Batman, after everything is said and done, he doesn't like this. Izuku, he's very active. He wants to get things done. He's not afraid of intervening. His personality is completely the opposite of Clark's. And that's where things are confusing to him. Why is it that this kid, he wants to kill? He's using his powers to take them down, but okay. He's on the side of justice, which honestly is good. But the way he's going about it, he needs guidance. He needs actual proper experience in the world. I mean, it's clear from the way they're talking that he acts like this is serious. Okay. Now, Batman does try to dive more into Deku's past. And right now, Superman, he does decide to try and talk to Deku. As right now we do actually have both of the two, who currently they did go to leave the headquarters. Now, right now Deku and Superman, they are back on Earth. And the two, they currently are sitting in a diner, as a lot of people are very confused as to why Superman, he currently is talking to this kid. Now, a few people do stare directly at Deku. And right now Deku, he actually is staring down at the meal in front of him. Before Superman, who does go to actually hold up a fry, does ask him if he doesn't want a burger. Hmm? You know we don't need to eat, right? Hmm? What? Yeah, we don't need to eat. Our bodies are sustained by the sun. Besides, it's useless. All it will do is just taste good for a few minutes. It's a waste of nutrition. Hmm? Okay, but have you ever actually had a burger, though? I ate whenever I was younger, but they thought that was to help me develop. Apparently not, though. Recent theories show that I could have possibly just developed naturally and still turned out the same. No food needed, no water needed, and no oxygen needed. You know, sustained by the sun and everything. Right. Batman says we're like walking batteries. He's not wrong. I mean, our powers can be supercharged. I'm assuming that he does know about that part too, correct? Hmm? Yes, he does. He has theories, charts even. Okay, so Deku actually going to push the plate away and telling Soups. He wants to know why they're even here. I mean, seriously, why does he want to talk to him? Now, Superman will going to talk, expressing how he wants to know a bit more. Batman looked into his life. He looked into his family, but he doesn't seem to have any. Hmm? Yeah, about that. It's complicated. How is it complicated? I mean, who found you? Who raised you? I'd rather not talk about it. Okay, but we're just trying to understand. Listen, Deku actually going to stand up and telling Superman he's going to go leave and he's going to go stop that mugging he hears. So if he'd like to either join him, go ahead. But don't try to talk to him about his personal life. Now, Deku will go to turn and fly away. And right now, whenever the wind does blow the direction of the door, Superman does try to think. Huh. Okay, well, maybe he should try to talk to Batman about this. Izuku seems a lot more like him. But then again, he's on the right track. Now, Superman would actually go to stand up and turn. Him going to try and reach down for a wallet, which he doesn't have. And the moment the person is going to turn and see Superman do that, the man is going to tell him Superman gets that burger for free. I mean, he's earned it. Now, Superman would actually go to turn, thanking the man before actually going to fly out the door fast. Now, there actually is where the robber, he is trying to take someone's money. And whenever Deku actually does go to appear, he will go to Dookie, grab the gun, him crushing the barrel of it before turning and looking at the man. The man staring directly at Deku. And Deku does actually look directly at him. The guy talking about how he doesn't want any trouble. And Deku is actually going to turn back to the person, asking them if this man hurt them. And the person is saying no. Now, the moment Deku does actually turn, the man is going to pull a knife. Him actually going to try and stab Deku, as whenever it does hit his skin, the knife breaks. And Deku is going to turn back, as he actually is going to cock back his hand and smack the man. Now, the man that does get sent flying and sent into a wall. And Superman, he would actually show up. As right now the mugger, he's laying on the ground with a broken back. And Deku, he did actually break one of his arms with just that simple swipe. Now, Superman, yeah, he actually gonna land. Him talking to the person, as right now he does talk about how he's so sorry about him. And the woman gonna comment that it seems like Soups has a bit of a handful with his son. Now, Deku would actually get a turn, correcting the woman that he's not Superman's son. He just happens to be another Kryptonian. Now, right now, Deku, he does look back at Soups, who does try to tell him about how he needs to hold back and to be careful, because he saw how fast he swiped his arm. He could have killed that man. And Deku comment, no big loss. He would have died. But guess what? He'll be out next week on good behavior, and he'll be right back at it. Now, Superman, he does obviously see how Deku does act, the way he does react. He wants to protect, but he's overdoing it. Now, there actually is where Deku, he's told by Superman about something that he does want to try. Now, Deku, he actually is introduced to the Young Justice team. And right now, after he does walk into a room, a lot of people do go to stare directly at him. And right now, there are some people standing there who do look confused, as someone is currently standing there talking about how they have somebody new here today. And right now, there actually is Tim, who, whenever everybody does come walking up, they do get to stare directly at Deku. And Deku does actually stand there with his hands at parade rest and his feet straight. As right now, Tim does see the. What is that? Military discipline? In the sky. Now, Kid Flash actually just came running up. And the moment that Black Canary was talking about powers, Flash, he decided he wanted to try something. The guy's facial structure. I mean, the area around the eyes. It looks exactly like. Now, Flash went bolting forwards. And the moment he actually come running up, he actually did go to bring up his hand. As right now, whenever Deku, he does go to directly turn and look at the Flash, Kid Flash, he is immediately alarmed. Deku actually going to directly bring up his hand and grab him by the wrist, before going to kick out his leg. Now, there actually is where 1 second the guy was staying there. The next, he's holding Kid Flash, and he does lower him to the ground. Now, there actually is where Deku, he does turn back to everybody, and introduce himself. His eyes glowing red. As right now he does talk about how he saw them before back on the island, but it's good to see them all again. I mean, hey, they do their own good work. But he does have comments and he also does have critiques. Now, there actually is Tim, who he does actually step forwards towards Deku. And he does get a comment on how he's a murderer. Now, Deku does stand there, staring at Tim with a serious expression. And everybody they do go to look directly towards him. They all knew it, but they weren't going to say it. This guy's a more serious Superman. And they don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. He takes action. He enacts justice. However, his justice comes at the cost of a life. Usually that person's. No. Tim doesn't start to go off. He wants to know why he did it. Why he killed all those men. Why he is a murderer. And Deku does stand there before trying to explain to Tim the way he does view things. And everybody they're a little bit shocked. As Deku, he does express to them, he does it for peace. He will intervene. He does want to know, though, where has that no killing rule left them? There are thousands of people who die by the villains they allow to run around. If Tim had a choice, would he kill the Joker? Now, they're going to stare at Tim, and right now he does glare at Deku. As Deku does express to him, that is what he thought. Do not try to judge him unless he is willing to at least try to be judged by his own actions. He wants to try and pretend that what they do has actually made a difference. But what they do is, well, just put it off for later. put it off for later. If people feared them, they wouldn't commit crimes. Heroes is a very loose term for what they are. Now, right now everybody just stare at Deku. And Tim, yeah. Let's just say his utility belt, it might come with a case of kryptonite now. Making Batman real proud. Now, Deku, he does gonna walk away. And right now to just talk about how he's heading to his room, everybody they do gotta look back towards Black Canary. As right now she has tried to express about what they have found on him. Not much is known. However, it is believed that he was raised by a former military commander. And that's why he does have the attitude. Why he's so, well, you know, the way he is. Now, Black Canary does express. It might take some time for him to warm up to them, but they do need to know. He is a Kryptonian, just like Superman. So, that will be a good asset to their team. Besides, don't let it get them down. Maybe once he warms up to them, he's gonna be a lot like Soups. A big softy. Except he could basically eat a tank with his teeth. Now, Deku, yeah. After he does head to his room, he does go to look at a few things. As right now after turning off the light, he does go to flip another light. As he does stare at it before thinking. Now, Deku does go look around. And right now, after he does not see it, he does turn the light back on. Okay, so there's nothing in here. Batman knows that he would be able to pick up on it. Pick up on the equipment if he does try to hide it. See it if he does try to put it in lead. Batman's best option would be to trust him at the moment. The man is paranoid. The man, he always does not like to take a risk. He likes to know exactly the calculations, what to put in and what to get out. And right now he doesn't know what to put in because he doesn't know what will come out. Right now Batman, he does actually have to try and go off of faith. Because maybe trusting Superman would be good. I mean, another Kryptonian would be helpful. Now, Batman, he doesn't like this. Right now, he's going to keep this to himself. But he's fairly certain that Deku, he's lied about his past. The file he's made on him already, everything has been searching and cross-referencing, it seems fake. Everything doesn't go together. Everything's too spread out. If he was going to make a fake identity, this is what he would do. I mean, it's clear these patterns aren't all the same. Okay, but why is he lying about his past? Why hasn't he just come out and say it? He wasn't trained by a military commander, or raised by one. He was trained by actual combat experts. The way Superman described everything, what the Watchtower recorded of their battle. Izuku, he's been trained by somebody powerful. Somebody who knows how to fight. Either right now, Superman, he's dealing with some sort of trained assassin Kryptonian. Or, well, Izuku, he's just that. He's a lucky Kryptonian who learned how to fight. And that's what kind of does surprise Superman, or Batman really. Superman had difficulties trying to fight him. Yes, he was stronger, but he didn't know how to fight this. Somebody near his level who could kick his ass. He got knocked around. And right now, Superman, he's playing off of emotions. He's not thinking clearly. He doesn't want another Zod. I mean, literally another Zod. Now, Batman does compile a few things. Because right now, he's dealing with something that he didn't like. A Kryptonian. One with the intent to kill to protect. Right now, he's dealing with a Kryptonian who, number two, may not actually have any emotional connection to anybody. There's no one on this planet this person might love. And that does mean that him, number three, possibly having a tolerance higher than Superman's to kryptonite, that does mean something else. If he can fight when exposed to kryptonite, if he can overcome that weakness, then theoretically he could take out the kryptonite himself. It might lessen his powers, but even then, he can still stand on his feet and get away from it. Okay, so that's bad. But that's another thing, though. He does still have a few alternatives. They may be a bit more magical in origin, but hey, they would need to work to take him down. Okay, this is a worst case scenario. A Superman who might go off the rails crazy. No, he's too serious to be crazy. Okay, so what to do? Now, Batman right now, he's trying to make a plan. This Kryptonian, yeah, lucky him. Right now, he gets a plan to take him down. And right now, Deku, he actually is trying to do a few things. However, there actually is the next day where somebody does come into his room. And right now, Deku, who actually was laying on the bed relaxing, he does actually someone going to turn looking towards them. As Black Canary, she expressed to him what was going to happen. Right now, they are going to do some training exercises. And right now, what she wants from him is to know that he is going to be on assignment with Batman. Now, Deku does look directly at Black Canary before going to stand up and ask if that's really necessary. To which she would explain, she wasn't really asking. Now, come on. Deku gonna walk out of his room. And right after seeing Batman, he does stand there as Deku, he does look back at the man. And Deku, he does ask the questions. So, when are they leaving? Now, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.